Welcome to another episode of Crochet Business Chat. Happy to have you here this morning. My name is Pam Grice, Crochetpreneur, and I'm on a mission to help 100,000 makers build financial freedom through crochet. And I hit the go live button before I was ready. So welcome behind the scenes of life over here at Crochetpreneur. So happy to have you guys here. I've been away for a little bit because we did a launch of CBA. I totally reworked our signature program and went through a relaunch of that. So that always takes time and energy. And so I stepped away from the podcast for a little bit, but we are back and we're going to be consistent in the coming weeks. Today, we're going to be talking about traits of six-figure business owners and the common traits that I see in the six-figure business owners that I know and that I work with every day, and maybe some myths that we have in our culture about people who are successful. So I want to go ahead and hop into the presentation. I created a presentation for you today so I don't miss out on what I wanted to talk about. Good morning, Samantha. Happy to have you here. She's working on a granny square blanket. Awesome. Before I get too far, if you are a crochet business owner or a knitter or a maker of any sort, and you're looking for inspiration and tips for growing an aligned business that fits your values, fits your personality, fits your goals and dreams, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you get notified every time we go live or every time we upload a new video. We do upload every Monday from here on out. We live stream every Monday. And what else? Like this video so other people see it, and be sure to comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know what's going on, and let me know if you have questions. If you're watching on replay, go ahead and ask your questions in the comments, and I will be back to answer them. Let's get started. What do you say? All right, I'm going to click. Well, we don't want that one. We want, I think, this one. You need to see less of me and more of the presentation. So I'm going to hop through the presentation, and then I'll be back here to check out your questions in a little bit. Let me make sure everything is good to go. It is. So welcome. Today we're going to explore what really makes a crochet business owner successful and why you don't need to be cutthroat or manipulative to win in business. So you might recognize that in the corporate world, it looks like the loud, the ruthless, the narcissistic leaders always rise to the top. And I'm going to be honest and say sometimes that's the case in the crochet world as well, but not always. So we're going to explore why this happens and what you can do instead. So let's talk about that ruthlessness and the manipulativeness. These are what psychology calls the dark triad. And we're going to talk more about exactly what the dark triad looks like in the next slide. But I don't know if you've ever heard this, but people often say, never meet your idols. Have you ever had the experience of really looking up to someone? Maybe it's someone big in the industry, a big designer, right? Big designer. And then you meet them and they're nothing like you expected. And maybe they're even rude to you, or maybe they're just unkind, or you're like, oh yeah, we're not going to be friends, which is really sad. Honestly, what happens is we see the loud headlines and we see the features typically about the narcissists, the manipulators, and the ruthless leaders. What we don't see, though, is that while there may be some external success happening, internally there's a lot of distress with these people. And we don't want to be like that, right? We don't want to have success at any cost. We don't want to have to gossip or backstab or step on the shoulders of other people to get where we're going. That's not the way. So I want to talk to you about how to build a successful business and get to six figures the way that most people do in the industry, and the traits that they're using to move forward so that they're building the business that they love, the business that's bringing in the profits they want, without ruining relationships, without compromising their integrity and without manipulating others, because we don't want to do that. So honestly, the truth about this, all of this, is that we usually only see the winners. So while there are manipulators and cutthroat people, we only see the winners. We don't see the people who are failing spectacularly behind the scenes. And when you operate from this dark triad of traits, typically what happens is failure because you off-put so many people. So let's first take a look at what the dark triad looks like and what a lot of people think is required to become a successful business owner. So the dark triad, it incorporates these 3 traits. The first is narcissism. This is an obsession with the self, obsession with being admired, obsession with being liked. Or even like, I don't care if people don't like me as long as they admire me, as long as they look up to me, as long as they want to be just like me, right? It's all about, I want everyone to want to be a reflection of me. I want everyone to reflect back to me how great I am. This is a problem. The next is Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism is this manipulation that you see in people who are at the top. So they manipulate others, they use them, they lie to them, they deceive them. This is called Machiavellianism. It's named after a guy called Machiavelli, and you can look him up on Google. Okay, so narcissism, Machiavellianism, and finally psychopathy. All right. There are a lot of psychopaths that show up in the news as really highly successful, sought after business owners. The problem is, the reason they get where they are is because they're not afraid to step on the shoulders of other people and to hurt other people. They lack empathy, and they possess a reckless boldness. Okay, so this is the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. These 3 traits can help in high stakes cutthroat systems, but like I said, they destroy relationships and they destroy trust. So in crochet businesses where relationships and community are everything, they don't build sustainable businesses. So if there is a piece of you, your dark shadow that's like, oh, I need to be all of these things in order to be successful. It's a total lie. Don't go there. Don't worry about it. You don't need to do this. Okay. Let's talk about the reality. The reality is, in fact, the six-figure business owners that I know are thriving, it's not because they're ruthless or they're manipulative, but it's because they embody patience, resilience, and courage. The most successful crochet CEOs that I work with and that I am friends with have these traits. So instead of the dark triad, they thrive by delay, which is waiting for gratification, deflect, which is overlooking criticism, and dare, which is willingness to fail. These are the 3 traits that I see the most often in people who are making it. Okay, and we're going to dive into what each of these traits looks like. The first trait is delay, waiting for gratification. So the saying is, patience is profit. We know building a sustainable business takes time, but sometimes people quit right off the bat when they're like, I started an Etsy shop 2 weeks ago and I don't have any sales yet, and then they quit. This is not someone who's going to be successful, right? You have to recognize that building something worthwhile takes time, and that you're going to have to sacrifice gratification in the beginning. You're going to have to sacrifice time. You're going to have to sacrifice money. You're going to have to sacrifice energy as you build your business in the beginning. And then as you start to gain traction, you can take back some of that freedom, take back some of that time, and start to enjoy yourself. But in the beginning, it's hard. And if you're not willing to go through those hard bits, you're always going to struggle. So delay is the ability to put in work today without expecting immediate rewards. In crochet, that looks like taking time to build inventory, posting consistently on social media, sending emails to a list of 10. I have in one of my businesses, I have a list of 43 people. I write to them every single day, right? It's being consistent. It's doing the work. It's putting in the effort until you start seeing the payoff. All right. And another thing that this looks like in the crochet world is waiting for seasonal peaks. So we have a down season. We definitely do. And you can optimize your business to make up for that. But typically in the beginning, you're going to have downtime in the summer, and it's going to gradually work its way up towards the holidays. Quick quitters don't succeed, but patient makers do. All right. The next one is trait 2 is deflect, overlooking criticism. Every crochet business owner will face criticism. This is the nature of the game. People are not going to like you. A lot of people are going to love you, but there will be people who complain, who criticize, who tell you you're doing it wrong, right? You're pricing wrong, your style is wrong. Even sometimes your choice to be in business is wrong. All right. The difference is whether you let it stop you or whether you let it spur you on. Successful crocheters listen for real feedback, but let irrelevant criticism roll off. And you have to be able to recognize what's real feedback and what is just irrelevant. I want you to focus on your aligned customers and let go of people who will never support your business and who will never be satisfied. As soon as you recognize them, you can let them go. Sometimes as a crochet designer, and you recognize like this person is never going to figure this pattern out, you can refund them and let them go instead of spending hours trying to handhold them through a pattern that was too advanced for them. Things like that, where you're just like, I need to cut this off right now and either refund them or let them know like this is not a great fit. Let me recommend you to a different maker who might be able to work better with you. The energy suck that it takes to listen to feedback and let it take you out is not worth it. There's no ROI on that. So listen to productive feedback that takes you higher and makes you better, and let the rest of the stuff roll off your back. Finally, trait 3 is dare. Dare is the willingness to fail. Failure is part of entrepreneurship. Failure is a good thing. Failure brings you so much information. The most successful crochet business owners release flops all the time. So they make something, they try to sell it, nobody wants it. They design a pattern, they list it, nobody wants it, right? But when they do release those flops, they learn, they pivot, and they move forward. The willingness to fail is really the willingness to grow, okay? Every no brings you closer to a yes. As long as you're not willing to fail, you're not willing to risk, and you're not willing to learn what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does work. So develop this willingness to fail so that you can move forward in your business. All right, so let's compare what these two models look like, the destructive model and the sustainable model. The destructive model looks like narcissism, which is self-obsession, whereas the sustainable method looks like patience, focusing on your long-term vision. Narcissists want immediate gratification because it makes them feel good about themselves, right? People who can let that go and be patient are the ones who are going to have that long-term success. Machiavellianism, which is manipulation and lacking empathy. Oh, that's psychopathy. Okay, Machiavellianism, which is manipulation. Instead, we overlook criticism and we focus on our aligned customers. We don't need to manipulate anybody. We don't need to force people to like us. We don't have to force people to buy from us. We let that go and we just let things happen organically, and we attract the people who are most aligned with our business. And finally, psychopathy, which is recklessness and a lack of empathy. Instead, having a willingness to fail, so being daring doesn't have to look reckless, right? Being daring looks like courage, experimentation, and integrity. So that's what will build you a sustainable crochet business that makes you the money you want without ostracizing people who are there to support and encourage you, and without hurting other people in the process. So let's reflect. Which of these do you want to strengthen? Delay, growing patience, focusing on vision, taking the next best step. Deflect, overlooking criticism, attracting your ideal audience, growing in self-esteem and confidence. Or dare, grow in courage, be willing to experiment and learn from failures. Which one feels like the next trait for you to foster in yourself and the one to be really courageous about moving through? Let me know in the chat which one you would like to work on. And then if you want to learn more strategies for growing your business, I do have a resource for you today. I forgot to link it in the description. I'll put it in there as soon as we're done, and we will have it in our show notes. But grab your copy of the all-new Crochetpreneur Success Roadmap. This is a PDF download that you can have and you can take a look at to see where you are now, which is typically what we're talking about now is in this first section, strategize, where we talk about your vision, we talk about your values, we talk about your strengths and weaknesses, and then help you to know where to move through in your business as you grow. So right now we're focusing on strategize, but there are many layers to growing your successful crochet business. We just want to be sure that your foundation, your inner work, and the traits that you embody are ones that are going to take you where you want to go. So if you want this, either let me know in the comments and I will send you the link, or I will put it in the description as soon as we're done, and you can request that. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I want you to build your business with patience, courage, and community. And remember, success in crochet isn't about crushing others. It's about building something beautiful with patience and courage and not quitting. Don't give up. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn the lessons, implement new strategies, and don't give up, and you'll get where you want to go. If we're not already connected, let's connect. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it, comment. You'll find me on social media at the Crochetpreneur. And if you haven't already, join my Facebook group, Crochet Business Chat, Crocheters Making Money Online. And we can connect there and you can ask questions if you'd like. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pop back over to the video and let me find myself on my screen. Oh, hello. Yeah, let's see. Sarah said she's a bit late. Shakes fist at YouTube notification. Oh, YouTube. Happy to have you here, Sarah. You can go back and watch this. We'll be done in just a second. If you have any questions about how to build a six-figure crochet business, I want you first to develop the traits and then to try strategies. Okay, that's how you're going to do it. And I'm happy to help. If you want a coaching call or you want to join the academy, just let me know. And that's our podcast for today. So thanks for being here. And thanks for watching the replay and listening to the replay. And I will see you all next week on Crochet Business Chat. Have a great day.